Hey, how are you? Welcome back
Good.
to this thing we call Touring History, the podcast where we talk about old stuff that happened. I'm Lane.
And I'm Dave, and today is May 9th, 2025. And we're about to dive deep into a bunch of things that happened on this day throughout history. Because that's kind of the whole premise of the show, right?
That's right, Dave. May
Yeah.
9th has been quite the day throughout history. Some good stuff,
Ooh,
some bad stuff, and some
ooh,
stuff that's just, stuff.
stuff. Right. It's like opening a history book and just reading one page. Not the beginning, not the end, just some random page in the middle. So let's get to that random page, I guess, shall we? Start with
Sure.
birthdays.
Yeah, first up, we should probably mention some folks who were born on May 9th.
Ooh.
In 1949, Billy Joel was born in the Bronx. You know, the
Yeah.
piano man.
Right, right. The guy who can fix my piano. Oh, no, that's a different piano man. They call Billy the piano man because he plays the piano. Do I hear a duh? Not very creative, if you ask me. I would have gone with the keyboard fella or something like that, right? The ivory tickler.
Ooh, that tickled me right there.
Oh,
Yeah, this guy wrote "We Didn't Start the Fire," which is
yeah,
basically just him listing a bunch of historical events set to music, kind of
right.
like what we're doing now,
Yeah.
except he made millions
Make
of
millions.
dollars. We're sitting in a podcast studio with foam on the walls.
How'd you know I had foam on my walls? Anyway, also
You can
born
see it.
today, Rosario Dawson, born in 1979. She was in that show? Oh, yes, The Mandalorian. I never saw it, but I heard it's about a guy who never takes his helmet off. Ooh, stinky. Sounds like my Uncle Bert after his welding accident. Don't, no, Bert, God, leave it on, please, God.
Yeah, yeah, your Uncle Bert. I could see him having a welding accident on his wedding. I mean,
Yeah.
he married the Iron Maiden after
Yeah.
all, didn't
There
he?
you go. I do. You didn't hear me? I said I do.
And let's not forget Candice Bergen, born in 1946, star of Murphy Brown. You know what's funny about Murphy Brown, Dave?
Well, that she was in competition with that dummy Charlie McCarthy. Oh no, that's actually Candace Bergen. I'm sorry. What's that? What is
Well,
funny?
it's not a woman's name. It's like naming your daughter Thompson Williams or something.
Or Pat or Francis?
Anyway, these are all people who just happen to be born on May 9th. Nothing special about being born, really. We
Really?
all did it once.
Well, I actually did it twice. I didn't want to be here, and I climbed right back in.
All right, well, on to a historical event. On May 9th, 1671, a fella
Woo,
named
that's a long
Thomas.
time ago, fella.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
A fella named Thomas Blood
What a
attempted to
great
steal the
name.
right? Attempted to steal the crown jewels from the Tower of London. Blood sounds made up, but apparently that was his real name.
Right. Well, so this blood character, yeah, he disguises himself, get this, as a priest because, nothing says I'm trustworthy like pretending to be a man of God. He talks his way into seeing the jewels, then whacks the keeper on the head and tries to flatten the crown with a mallet so it can fit under his coat. Whoa, brilliant.
Wow. Now you
Nothing like
think
ruining your the thing you came to steal. Oh,
I
I
know.
can't fit it in. I'll just bang it into nothing.
I got the Mona Lisa, but it won't
I
fit
just
under my
rip it up
coat.
and
I,
we'll
I
put
bet
it
if
back
I
together.
I'll tear it up and it'll be fine. I'll have AI
Anybody
do
got
it.
any scotch tape for Mona?
Now you think the punishment for trying to steal the king's crown would be, I don't know, having your head removed from your body. That seems fair, right?
It does seem fair. But no, King Charles II not only pardoned Blood, weird, but gave him land in Ireland worth £500 a year. That's odd. It'd be like you tried to steal Jeff Bezos's wallet and he gave you a job at Amazon. Huh, makes no sense. Hey, you're going to drive around in a truck. Thanks for giving me my wallet back.
You ever been a picker before? Welcome to being a picker. Uh, so the historians say Blood might have had dirt on the king. Like,
Oh,
yeah, I know what you did last summer kind of stuff.
yeah, I bet you're right. But I think the king just admired his moxie. Ha! Tried to steal my crown as a priest? Well, that takes balls. Here's some land and £500. Yeah, kings were weird back then. Still are, I think.
Yeah, probably,
Yeah,
probably.
why
Let's
we
see.
don't have any.
May 9th, 1950, some French guy named Schumann, not to be confused with Schumann the
I was going to say that
composer.
sounds
That's a
German,
different, this
not
is a different
French.
guy.
Oh,
Different
okay.
guy. Anyway,
Yeah.
he proposed this thing called the European Coal and Steel Community.
Oh, now I don't know about you, Lane, but when I hear coal and steel community, I don't exactly get excited. Sounds like the world's worst theme park. Hey, come ride the coal bucket. Hey, oh, and try the steel ingot splash. It's a goner.
But this boring sounding thing eventually became the European Union.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the idea was, hey, if we all share our coal and steel, maybe we won't use it to build tanks and kill each other. Pretty smart when you think about it.
Well, it is smart. It's like you and your neighbor, that pesky, judgy neighbor of yours, who's always eyeing your lawnmower, decided to just share the damn thing. Hey, listen, Roger, you can use it Mondays and I'll take Tuesdays. The next thing you know, you're having barbecues together and kids are dating.
That's basically what happened with France and Germany, except the lawnmower was coal and steel, and the barbecue is the EU Parliament.
Ah, I like the analogy, Lane.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Going back a few years to 1945 on May 9th, Nazi
Oh, let me
Germany,
guess. The Nazis.
they show up every day, don't they?
Every day.
For being gone for so long, they sure seem to be making a comeback. They're
Oh,
in
I'm
every.
here again. Hello.
You can never defeat the Third Reich.
We may have lost, but I'm here in your backyard.
I
Can I
am
borrow your
Kristen Hugo
lawnmower?
Boss, and I look fantastic.
Your daughter looks great.
The Fräulein. On May 9th, 1945, Nazi Germany surrendered to Soviet forces, which is why Russia celebrates Victory Day on May 9th rather than May 8th like the rest of us.
Oh gosh, there's that confusing end of war date thing. All right. Well, leave it to time zones to screw up a perfectly good world war ending. It's like, hey, we all agreed to stop fighting, but what time is it exactly? Oh, wait a minute. You're over the international date line. We'll figure it out.
The Soviet Union lost around 27 million people in that war. That's a lot of people.
It is.
I can't even imagine 27 million of anything except maybe ants at a picnic. I mean, that's
Those damn ants. But here's the thing about Russia. They celebrate Victory Day like it's the biggest holiday ever. Meanwhile, in America, we're like, World War II? Oh, yeah, that's the thing Tom Hanks was in, right?
it seems so real. It was
Yeah,
so real.
it does.
War is a terrible thing, but
It is.
it does give us holidays, which is a silver lining, I guess. And not a great silver lining, but when you lose 27 million people, you take what you can get.
It is true. It is true. Well, here's an interesting thing on May 9th. What happened in terms of pregnancy?
Yes, on May 9th, 1960. That a pregnant pause? I
It
think so.
was very good.
Uh,
You caught
the
it, right?
FDA the FDA approved the first oral contraceptive known simply as the pill.
The pill. Ah, simple name, yet incredibly effective. Now, this is awkward to talk about on a history podcast, but this little tablet pill changed society in ways that we're still figuring out today.
Yeah, before the pill, women had to choose between education and career advancement or starting a family. It's kind of like if someone told me, Lane, you can either do this podcast or eat sandwiches, but not both.
What? Um, yeah, pregnancy or sandwiches? That's a terrible choice. I love sandwiches.
I know, I know. Within 5 years of FDA approval, over 6.5 million American women were taking oral contraceptives. That's a lot of people taking a pill every day.
That's a lot of pill taking. I can barely remember to take a vitamin. And that's just, oops, maybe that happened too. And that's just once a day. Imagine having to remember something every single day, or else, hey, you might create a whole new human being. Oh, talk about pressure, Lane. Oh.
Yeah, man. What else? Oh yeah, this is good. May 9th,
Yeah,
1953,
right.
Kraft Foods launched Cheese Whiz.
Oh, I love Cheese Whiz,
Yeah, you know
especially when
what
it's in
Cheese
that
Whiz is.
can. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
that
yeah.
cheese that comes in a jar, but it's not really cheese.
Yeah.
It's cheese
Cheese.
with a Z
Z. Yeah.
because they legally can't call it cheese.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Hmm. The government's like, you can't call that cheese. And Kraft's like, well, all right. What if we spell it with a Z? And the government's like, oh, well, that's different then. Go right ahead.
That's right. Cheese Whiz was actually developed for the British market as a quick way to make Welsh rarebit. I
Oh,
I don't even know what Welsh rarebit is, but
me neither.
thank God they have a substitute because I'm not eating any rarebit.
Yeah, it's like, hey,
But
man,
it found its true home in America, where we apparently needed cheese that could be stored at room temperature indefinitely.
ooh, sounds yummy. I say, I have terrible teeth. Can I have cheese that lasts forever? It's like a cockroach of food products. It could probably survive the nuclear apocalypse, and yet we love it on everything from Philly cheesesteaks to nachos.
Nacho. I like the
That's
way
what
you
they
say
say. Well, that's how they
nachos.
say it over in Welshland. Do you have any more nachos?
Nachos.
Hmm.
Yeah, the original jingle went the radio jingle.
Yeah.
Cheese whiz, what is it? What is it? Cheese whiz, it's cheese but different.
Wow, that's a catchy tune. I'm sure it caught on right away. Jeez, that's the laziest jingle I've ever heard. It's like they gave up halfway through writing it. Cheese whiz, what is it? It's cheese, but screw it, it's different. That's not a jingle, that's a product description.
But it worked.
It
Americans
did.
love anything that doesn't require refrigerations.
Well, you can
We're
just leave it out
very
on the counter.
we're very lazy people when it comes to food storage.
That's right. Oh, jeez. What's this open thing in the cabinet? Oh, it's whiz. Let's put it back in.
On to 1958, where on May 9th, Alfred Hitchcock's psychological thriller Vertigo
Ooh.
premiered in San Francisco.
San Francisco. Now, this is a great film, Lane. It's about Jimmy Stewart being afraid of heights and falling in love, no pun there, with a woman who may or may not be real. I've had that happen many times. Or she's two different women. I'm not sure. I fell asleep halfway through.
You're kidding, right?
Yeah, I'm kidding. It's actually about obsession and deception. Jimmy Stewart's character becomes obsessed with this woman. Then she supposedly dies. Then he finds another woman who looks just like her and tries to make her become the first woman. You following me?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I
it's
think so.
creepy as hell when you think
Sounds
about it.
psycho to me.
Well, that uh,
Interesting.
good plug.
Sorry, I was
I
just
love it. You
there.
don't miss a beat.
Yes, and I master of the obvious.
Yeah.
Interestingly, nobody thought it was that great when it came out. Critics were like, it's all right.
Meh.
Then decades later, they decided it was the greatest film ever made.
Yeah, well, that was similar to It's a Wonderful Life. That was a failure at the box office. So, these things, they can age and
Hmm.
develop a good nose, that sort of thing. I mean, that happens a lot in art. Van Gogh never sold a painting while he was alive, and now they're worth millions. Hey, you know what? I've got a lot of scribbles in my desk. I wonder if they'll be worth anything. I mean, the
Right.
lesson is I'll probably be considered a genius after I'm dead. More so than I am now, which doesn't do me a lot of good.
I'll attest to it. You're a genius, Dave.
Thank
You're a
you.
genius.
Thank you.
All right,
E
folks, it's
equals
time.
whatever. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's right. E equals MC don't care.
MC
Uh,
Hammer. Yeah. Genius.
all right, folks, time for a quick break. We'll be right back after this message from our sponsors.
Hey, I know this sponsor's going to be great.
That's right. History fans, have you ever wished you could preserve the present moment for future generations to enjoy? Well, that's what ball mason jars are for.
Oh, that's right, Lane. We're talking about the Ball Mason Jar Facebook group, a community of over 100,000 people talking about jars. Jars! Can you imagine? Hey, check out my jar. Wow, nice jar. My jar's better than your jar. What a world we live in.
But hey, these jars have been around since 1880. I almost said 1980. I'm talking
That's a
1880, which
that's a
means
dusty jar.
they've survived two world wars, the Great Depression, disco, and whatever the hell the 90s were.
Yeah, I joined that group last year, and my family has been reaping the delicious benefits. Why, last summer, Lane, I canned tomatoes from my garden using a recipe shared by group member Eleanor from Michigan. Opening that jar in December was like, whoa, well, like opening a jar of tomatoes.
There you go.
Yeah.
The Ball Mason Jar community preserves more than just food. They preserve traditions, family connections, and sustainable living practices. It's like they're sending messages in bottles to their future selves, except the messages are pickles.
Yes, as long as they're not saving body parts. So if you're interested in creating your own edible time
They're
capsules,
not going to like that, Dave.
I don't care. It's there. It's their Facebook group. So sue me. And connecting with a community that values both tradition and innovation, search for Ball Mason Jar on Facebook and join the conversation today.
Tell them Lane and Dave sent you. They won't know what that means, but it'll confuse them, and we find that funny.
Yeah, we'll end up in a jar ourselves. Anyway, back to the show.
And we're back. On
Hello.
May 9th, 1994, Nelson Mandela was sworn in as South Africa's first black president after spending 27 years in prison for fighting against apartheid.
Ooh, that's a long time, Lane. Imagine being in prison for 27 years. I get antsy if I have to wait 27 minutes for a pizza. Are you here yet? But Mandela, he comes out of prison, instead of being bitter, he's like, hey, let's all get along. I think I want to be president.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That's like if you locked me in a closet for 27 years,
Uh-oh.
and when I came out, I said, "No hard feelings. Let's make you dinner."
I think if you were in a closet for 27 years, you'd be smelling like dinner, huh? The amazing
Oh
thing is
man.
that many people thought South Africa would descend into civil war during this transition. But ironically, it didn't, because largely of Mandela. He was big on reconciliation rather than revenge, although I'm sure he had it in the back of his mind.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll put you in a closet for 27 years and I'll pickle you.
Yeah. Why are your teeth gritted, Nelson?
He established the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, which is like, tell us the terrible things you did and we won't put you in jail.
Wow, it's like if someone stole your car and instead of going to jail, they just had to admit it on TV. Yeah. Listen, I took Lane's car and I'm sorry. And well, you're supposed to be like, okay, we're good. I don't know if I could do that. I love my car.
Moving on to 1974, May 9th, the U.S. House Judiciary Committee began impeachment hearings against President Richard Nixon for his
Oh,
role in the Watergate scandal.
now, for you young folks, Watergate wasn't about water. It wasn't about a gate either. It was about a hotel called the Watergate, where some guys, idiots really, broke into the Democratic National Committee headquarters. They were called the Plumbers. Huh.
Ew. But that's not what got Nixon in trouble.
No,
It was the
no.
cover up. It was always
Yeah.
the cover up. If
Oh,
Nixon had just
always.
said, yeah, some overzealous supporters did a stupid thing, he might have been fine.
Yeah, it's actually where the line follow the money came from, because it led right back to who did it.
Oh
But
my goodness.
instead, he was recording, saying things like, well, we need to get the CIA to tell the FBI to back off. And that's what they call a smoking gun.
Oh boy.
Although, really, it's just a tape recording. There was an actual gun that was smoking. That would be a different scandal entirely.
Yes. And then we just say thoughts and prayers.
That's
Uh,
oh, you're in them.
the hearings were televised, which was a big deal back then.
Yeah.
People watched government proceedings on TV voluntarily. Can you imagine that?
Can you imagine? What are you doing today? Going to the ball game? No, gonna
Oh,
watch those hearings.
whoa.
Now we can't even get people to watch Game 7 of the World Series without checking their phones every 30 seconds. You ever seen that, Lane, in the stadium? Everybody's heads down. They're not even watching the game.
I know.
They're watching
It's
cat
crazy.
videos.
What is going on? Nixon resigned before the full House could vote on impeachment. He's the
Uh,
only U.S. president to ever resign from office.
yeah, well, he's like a guy who quits right before he's about to be fired. You can't fire me. I quit. Same result, but somehow it does feel better.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, you know who should have quit?
Who?
Kasparov. Because on May 9th,
Oh, that's right.
1997,
Beat by a
IBM's
computer.
supercomputer
Yeah.
Deep Blue defeated world chess champion Garry Kasparov in a full match, winning the sixth and deciding game.
Oh, what do you mean? Something with tubes and no face beat me? No, I don't believe it. Now, I don't know about chess, but I know the horse moves in an L shape or something like that, and that's about it. I do know that Kasparov was considered maybe the greatest chess player, and he still is of all time. And he lost to a computer. Bummer.
After losing, Kasparov accused IBM of cheating. He
Yeah.
said they must have had humans helping the computer during the games.
God, what a sore loser. IBM said, nope, it was all the computer. You're a loser. And then they refused to rematch and put Deep Blue in storage forever. You're not getting your hands on that one. That's suspicious behavior, if you ask me. Oh no, he's going back in the closet. Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
winning
with
the
all that
lottery. And
with all that stuff from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
yeah, right. The Raiders of the Lost Ark storage bin. You'll never find it.
Sorry.
It's like winning the lottery and immediately moving to a remote island with no extradition treaty.
Gary, give it up. But this was just the beginning of computers beating humans at things. Here we go. Now they can beat us at Go, Jeopardy, and, well, probably Twister. I don't know. If they had the right appendages. Whoa,
Yeah.
that feels just like skin.
Oh boy. I, for one, welcome our new computer overlords.
Me
I'd
too.
like to remind them that as a trusted podcast host, I can be helpful in rounding up others to toil in their underground data caves.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah, just get on their good side early. See, that's what I'm doing.
Yep.
Laying it down that early. And I go, who's a friend?
Hey, listen, guys. Al, oh no, AI. I was an early adopter of you way before Roger, my judgy neighbor.
That's
Fat.
right. And finally, on May 9th, 2012, President Barack Obama became the first sitting U.S. president to publicly support same-sex marriage.
Yeah, he was on ABC with Robin Roberts, and he said, I can't do a good Obama impersonation. I've just
Just
concluded.
concluded.
I know. You want to handle that one? Go ahead.
No, you go. You
All
go
right.
for
I've
it.
just concluded that for me, personally, it is important for me, redundant, to go ahead and affirm that I think same-sex couples should be able to get married. Whoa, barn burner.
Wow. I'm gonna try doing it as an Obama. Let's see how it comes out.
Okay.
I've just concluded that for me, personally, it's important for me to go ahead and affirm that I think same-sex couples should be able to get married.
Wow. You nailed it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Was that all right? That's
I
a
think
lot of
it was good.
qualifying language for me personally. I think should be able to. You could
Yeah,
have just
spoken
said
like a
gay marriage.
true
I'm for
lawyer,
it.
right? Huh. When I, when I was at Harvard doing anyway,
Right. You go to Harvard, you can't say something simple like gay marriage. I'm for it.
that's
That's not
right.
how
If you're
politicians
editor of
talk.
the law review, you just can't do that stuff. You have to
No,
hem and haw.
that's right.
Well, they have to add 50 extra words to everything. You know, it's like when your spouse asks you if you like their new haircut, and instead of saying yes or no, you start talking about the history of barbering.
That's right.
It used to be surgeons had that barber pole out in front of them. That's why it's spun around with red and white. Blood.
That's right. You you look like you're here for a bloodletting, honey.
That's right. Hold on. I'm not going to cut your hair. I'm going to grab some leeches and then we'll be done.
Yeah. So Obama had actually been against same-sex marriage earlier in his career.
Oh
Then he
my
was
God.
for civil unions, but not marriage. Then he finally was for marriage.
He's like Bill Clinton, the flip-flopper. Well, I don't know. Yes, I'm for it. Oh no, I guess that was John Kerry. I was for the war until I wasn't. Anyway,
Right.
politicians are politicians, and they call this an evolving thing on an issue. Regular people call it changing your mind. But that sounds less impressive, Lane.
That's right. 3 years later, the Supreme Court made same-sex marriage legal nationwide. So Obama's statement didn't directly change the law, but it did help change the conversation.
That's right. It's the people in the black robes that do the deal. It's like when a
Mm,
popular kid at school starts wearing a certain type of shoes, and everybody says, I want those shoes. When the
mm.
president says something is okay, a lot of people think, well, maybe it's okay then. Let's
No,
deport everybody. It's okay. It's
it's
okay.
okay. It's all okay. Tear it all down. It's okay.
Eric. Yeah.
Well, and that wraps up our tour through history for May 9th.
Geez, a lot of stuff happened, huh? Crown jewels, chess computers, computers in closets, birth control pills in closets, cheese whiz, some of it important, some of it not so much.
You know what's funny about history?
What?
We're living through it right now. Something
Oh,
might be happening today that people will talk about 100 years from now.
that's right. Those left-handers. Or not, most days, nothing historically significant happens, but you know what? We never know until later, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm Lane.
And I'm Dave, reminding you that the past is just the present, but earlier. Whew, that's deep.
Thanks for touring with us. We'll see you tomorrow for another journey through time where we'll talk about a completely different day and the stuff that happened on it.
And jars full of fingers. Sorry, bye.
Bye.